I'm not sure what Jeff's status will be for the game. He's progressing, so as you guys know, Thursday for us is a walkthrough day. Friday will be a full practice day. So I know he feels like he's getting better. He's moving around and stuff, so we'll see how he does tomorrow.
How's Purdy doing? You said he had tweaked something. Is he getting closer to his full self?
Yeah, I mean, he's there. I just think it just kind of slowed down kind of the work that he was doing with Heinrich, But, yeah, I mean, Chuba had some plays last night where he pulled it down and ran, so looked good. So I think he's probably not back 100%, but I don't know if anybody is during football season, to be honest with you.
We asked Marcus about Heinrich the other day, but what have you seen from him, just this week and how he's taken his prep work?
Well, I like the way he took the field last week. He went out there excited to play and ready to go, even though it was, sort of at the end of the game. It was an opportunity for him to play. He hasn't really played very much, so I think he was excited to get out there. I think he's all week been confident and, kind of taking things we're asking him to do and running with them. So.
With Jeff, what's been the message for him this week? You talk about preparing differently. What's that maybe look like?
Just to control the things that he can control. Number one, just getting healthy. He's obviously watching tape, involved in the game plan. He's out there at practice, but just got to get healthy. It's hard for a quarterback to, have anything lower leg injury wise. In terms of pushing off and moving and sliding in the pocket and doing all the things that make them great. So, Jeff has to just control what he can control, and that's to get healthy as quickly as possible.
Do you think it's a thing with Jeff, and maybe he's putting too much pressure on himself to make a play over those first two games?
I think Jeff is an excellent player, and I think his best football has not been seen yet. I think he probably's. I don't want to answer for him, but I would say I think he's probably just really wants to win and trying to do things to make us to win instead of just playing each play. And so that's really the whole message of our program is just really just to be in the moment and win the rep and play the play, and you're not going to win every play. And so unfortunately for us in the first two environments, some plays by a lot of different guys have gone from bad to almost catastrophic. And so we're learning those lessons the hard way. But yeah, I think Jeff deeply cares, and so because he cares so much, I think sometimes maybe he, like a lot of our guys on offense, are just pressing and trying to do a little too much instead of just letting the play come to them. I think you saw that on defense. Thank you, Keith. You're such a nice guy. I think you saw that on defense last week. I mean, we were playing really stellar defense for a long time, and then when the game kind of got away from us, by no means did the guys ever quit or stop playing hard, but they started trying to do a little too much. And that's when you talk about learning how to win, that's one of the great lessons of learning how to win is everyone has to just stay in their role and do their job at a really high level, and then when they have a chance to make a play. And so you can see it with Jeff at a high level because he's the quarterback, but I can see it all across the board because we have a lot of guys. I have a lot of older guys here that haven't won a ton of football games, and they so desperately want to win. And so it's what we're working through right now.
You've seen he had kind of an off day Saturday, but he's also been run into a few times. Is he his full self too, and how big a deal is getting special teams to kind of make that play you had in week one?
Yeah, I think we're always, we always want our special teams to do two things. Number one, just be really solid, right? Like, it's not always going to be the explosive block a punt, return a kick. It's about flipping the field, changing field position, and I see a lot of those things were really good in the first game. Obviously, the punting game was not what we needed in the second game. Just like the quarterback's going to take a hit and have to stand there and make a throw. The punter's got to stand in there. I think Brian, like a lot of players, sometimes you have to have sort of that game and rebound from that game. And when you rebound from that game, your mental toughness and your confidence skyrockets, I believe. The best players, when they hit adversity, they don't just bounce back. They bounce back and elevate. I've said that to them a lot. I think we'll see Brian elevate. And then we're also trying to make sure, shore up the protection. One was a foul on them. The second one we thought was a foul. It wasn't called that way. But we also have to keep the guys off the punter a little bit more.
All offseason, you kind of talk about how you have to see them play. You didn't see, you were evaluating in practice, but you hadn't had any game tape, right? And now 2 weeks in, 2 games behind you. Are there any guys that have surprised you with their play on the field in these 2 games?
I think, when you look at guys on defense like Mekhi Bear, went for someone that, like, I remember when he first got here, it was almost like, hey, do you guys even want me here? He was just kind of defeated a little bit, to now a guy that's flying around. What I do see, and I see a lot of guys just kind of making jumps, right? Even as we play right now, I saw MJ Sherman probably play his best game. You see, there's so many. I don't want to forget anyone, But I think overall, you have guys like Deshaun and Omar who haven't really played for Nebraska, and all of a sudden now they're out there playing pretty good football. And I think Ramir's been a real bright spot for us in a kind of a tough stretch offensively. I think Fedoni's really rounding into shape right now. Bonner's doing so. As Coach Paterno used to always tell us, you're never as good as you think you are when you win. You're never as bad as you think you are when you lose. I think there's a lot of bright spots. The hard thing for us is keeping the guys just sort of pressing forward, right? Because they feel the pressure, they feel the letdown, they feel the constant sort of like, hey, is this gonna work out this week? It didn't work out last week, and so we're just again. It's how you learn how to win. It's not going away. You have to learn how to just play right through it. So,
Matt, going off that, has it been interesting for you to see just in the day-to-day process, how players respond to these losses and just kind of how do you kind of break some of the patterns?
Yeah, I think it's just there's a dichotomy here. There's two different, there's probably like two different groups, right? There's me who's sitting here like, man, we're 0-2. Okay, wow, we were so close to Minnesota. We should have won that game. Like, okay, we're close. Hey, Colorado, man, we just kind of let go of the rope a little bit in the third quarter, putting the ball on the ground uncharacteristically. Man, I probably didn't do a good enough job. Okay, let's just do this. It's just a process for me. It's very, methodical, right? And it's like, okay, fix this. Oh, that looks good. Let's do more of this. For a lot of guys, it's like, man, 3 years of this, and they're hearing that probably out there a lot, right? And it's like, for me, it's 2 games. For them, it's 3 or 4 years, and so it feels hopeless. To me, it feels exciting, exhilarating. It's like, all right, man, we competed against Minnesota all the way to the very end. We let it go of it. That was our fault. It wasn't like, hey, we got to go out and recruit some more. It's like, we're close, right? So that's the challenge. As I sit there in my office last night, it's 10 o'clock at night, or 9 o'clock at night, whatever it was. I'm sitting there kicking it with Giff or Nick I have great older players here, and they want to win so much. And just, I'm talking to the younger players. It's just, they certainly feel it. I can just kind of go back and forth to work and listen to a little country music and not pay attention. They're hearing and seeing everything, and so it's affecting them, obviously. But it's affecting them because they care, and that's what I love about them, and so I'm just going to keep trying my best to help them.
This stretch of home games coming up, what's the opportunity there, especially for the offense, to play in a little bit less of a hostile environment, more of a friendly one?
Well, certainly our operation from getting the personnel into the play-in has been a little bit of a challenge. Certainly Minnesota was a challenge, much better at Colorado. To obviously the snap counts, the cadences, we've just hasn't been good enough, right? And a lot of that, not excuses, okay, always makes, but a lot of that, right, you'd like to think would be way better at home. And we're in week 3. We've gotten better from the first 2 weeks, hopefully. The thing for me is, as I've told the guys, is, I've worked my whole life. I've waited my whole life to have a chance to step out, at Memorial Stadium and be the head coach of the Huskers. They've worked their whole lives to go out there and get to put on that helmet and go out there and compete and play together. So I'm going to take the field with joy. I'm going to take the field wanting to go 1-0, not taking the field as an 0-2 team. And I think a lot of our guys are carrying around 0-2 with them, and instead of I'm carrying around the joy of playing this week. So, it's just kind of being really transparent with you guys about where the team is. And this is what the team needs to do, though. This is how you reverse trends. This is how you change 6, however many years it's been of losing, is that you confront head-on the things that you're afraid of. You confront head-on the noise you hear. You confront head-on those thoughts in your brain of feeling fear and failure, that little voice in your head at 2 o'clock in the morning. You confront all that and you overcome it, and then you become a strong, confident team, and the program has confidence. And so there's no easy way around it. So I hope that being at home helps us in that process. But the process that we're going through is still internal for each player, still internal in the locker room. They've got to overcome the past and be in the moment and build for the future.
How much do you emphasize the pride of protecting home turf, or do you, and just, is making this a place that opponents fear to come into again?
I don't know that I'm talking a lot about that yet because we have so many other things going on. You know what I mean? I think for me it's just about I'm really trying to get the guys to be just really in the moment about hey, being great today, being great tomorrow, being great at the hotel, go to all your classes, be at study hall, then get to the game and just play one snap and just try to win every rep. I think that's the in today's society, that's the key, right? Where everything is so, examining what's happened and thinking about what's going to happen. I think the key is to keep the guys very much in the moment. So I certainly want this to be a tough place to play, but that'll all come from us playing so well that the fans are excited, and this becomes a rocking environment, right? And that's the football that we have to play.
How has your perception of Northern Illinois changed throughout the course of this week as you continue your preparations for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're an excellent football team, and I think they have a seventh-year quarterback. So you talk about some of the things that we try to do and disguise looks and show over here and blitz over here, and he's seen all of that. They've got. Sometimes you hear people say, "Oh, they're a well-coached team. They're a well-coached team," but this is this family, right? This family of coaches, the Northern Illinois coaches, going all the way back to Joe Novak. They know how to win, and so you watch them against Boston College. They play the game perfectly. They do everything right, and so they find a way to win the game. So I think the challenge for us is going to be their defensive line up front is tremendously movement oriented. A lot of disrupting things, pressure. They can play man on the back end. The quarterback's excellent. The tailback's excellent. They've got great receivers. So, and they believe that they can win. To me, teams, as I said on Tuesday, Monday, whatever, programs either are winning programs or losing programs. This is a winning program. They believe that they can win. They're in the MAC. They won the MAC championship 2 years ago. They know how to win. So, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to go compete against a team that is here for all of it. They're not coming to just show up. They're coming to win, and so that's what we need to do right now. We need to beat a team like that, one rep at a time.
Is Teddy Prohaska any closer to?
Yeah, he's getting. I mean, he's really rounding into shape. He's practicing well now, so I think you could see him this week potentially. All right, thanks, guys.